I noticed the boots before I noticed the silence. They stood by the door like sentries. Black leather, tall, polished to a mirror shine. Not mine. I explain things for a living. I analyze details, patterns, motives. But in that moment, I didn't move. The house smelled different. Not perfume. Not cooking. Something metallic. Like tension. I heard her laugh. That laugh. Soft, breathless, intimate. It came from the living room. I stepped forward slowly. Not because I was afraid. Because I wanted to see the crime scene clearly. She was sitting in his lap. Red dress. The one she said was too bold for dinner with me. It clung to her like guilt. Her fingers rested on his shoulders, nails tracing circles that used to belong to me. She looked at me. And she laughed again. That special laugh. Finally, she said, "You're home." He didn't move. Just watched me. Measuring. Then she tilted her head. "You're sick," she said softly. "You kill friendships. You destroy people." The words were strange, dislocated, as if rehearsed. "I didn't pull any trigger," I said. My voice didn't shake. But something inside me shifted. I didn't feel like a man in his own home. I felt like prey who had just discovered the trap. Her name is Shie, and for 3 years she studied me, or so I thought. Looking back, I see it now. The way she'd defend him when I criticized his arrogance. The way she'd accuse me of being paranoid when I questioned late-night texts. He was my friend first. That's the cruel part. He used to sit at this same table, drink my coffee, borrow my tools. Now he wore boots that shined brighter than my future. "You've been distant," she said, sliding off his lap slowly. "Everyone sees it." Everyone. That word again. Like a jury I never met. "You push people away," she continued. "You suffocate them." I watched her mouth form those sentences, calm, controlled. Gaslighting is subtle. It doesn't scream. It whispers until you doubt your own reflection. I replayed months in my head. Her sudden gym sessions. The deleted messages. The new passcode. The red dress she never wore for me. She accused me of killing friendships, of isolating her. But I remembered the night my closest friend stopped answering my calls. The night she said, "He thinks you're unstable." I thought she was protecting me. Now I realized she was building the narrative. I wasn't losing friends. They were being redirected toward her, toward him. And now they sat in my house, on my couch, rewriting history while I stood there like the villain in my own life. I didn't shout. I didn't break. I nodded once. "Interesting," I said. Then I walked past them calmly, like a man who just found boots by the door and decided to measure them. I didn't confront her that night. Wolves don't howl immediately. They observe. For weeks, I behaved exactly the same. Cooked dinner. Asked about her day. Kissed her forehead. Inside, I dissected everything. I checked the security logs. The timestamps of when doors opened. I never told her I installed remote backups. The boots had visited before. Many times. While I was working late, I requested phone records from our shared account. Numbers don't lie. They repeat. His number glowed like a pulse. I visited him once, unannounced. His reaction was subtle. Too subtle. A slight stiffness. A delay before he smiled. Predators recognize predators. I checked bank statements. Hotel charges, not far. Just far enough to feel safe. The most fascinating part wasn't the betrayal. It was the coordination. She had told mutual friends that I was volatile, emotionally unstable, jealous, controlling. By the time I sensed something, the groundwork was laid. If I exploded, I would confirm her story. If I stayed silent, she would escalate. I chose silence. One evening, she wore the red dress again. "You're so quiet lately," she said. I smiled. "I'm learning." She studied me carefully, as if waiting for cracks, but I was no longer bleeding inside. I was mapping, collecting screenshots, downloading messages from a synced tablet she forgot about, pictures, plans, conversations about after he's out. I wasn't being replaced. I was being erased. And then she made a mistake. She accused me again. "You ruin everyone around you," she said during dinner. "Maybe you need help." That's when I realized. This wasn't just infidelity. It was character assassination, a slow execution. They weren't stealing love. They were stealing identity. And I decided, if they wanted a wolf, I would become one. The evidence was complete. Screenshots, financial trails, voice recordings from our living room speaker she forgot was linked to cloud storage. I printed everything, neatly, organized. The night I chose, she wore the red dress again. He was there too. Bold. Comfortable. I placed the folder on the table between them. "What's this?" she asked lightly. "Clarity." I opened the first page. Phone logs, dates, durations. Her smile faded. He leaned forward. "What are you doing?" I slid a photo across the table. Hotel lobby. Her hand in his. Her red dress. Silence thickened. "You've been building a case against me," she whispered. "No," I said calmly. "You were." I looked at him. "You were the executioner." His jaw tightened. "You're twisting this." I held up another page. Messages. Their words. Plans to move in together. Plans to tell everyone I was unstable. To suggest therapy. To suggest intervention. To isolate me legally if needed. Her hands trembled now. "You invaded my privacy," she said weakly. "You invaded my life." I didn't raise my voice. That was the cruelty. I wasn't angry. I was certain. "You think I kill friendships?" I asked softly. Neither answered. "I watched you dismantle mine. Piece by piece." I stood. "I sent copies of this to the same friends you warned about me." Her head snapped up. "What?" "And to your sister. And to your boss." I paused. "And to his wife." That's when he stood. "You had no right." "No right?" I repeated, almost amused. "I didn't pull the trigger," I said quietly. "I documented the crime." Her breathing became uneven. "You're destroying everything." "No," I corrected. "I'm restoring balance." I walked to the door. The boots were still there, polished. Arrogant. I picked one up, heavy, expensive. I placed it outside. Then the other. "You can take what's yours," I said. She stared at me like she had never seen me before. She expected rage. Violence! Confirmation of her story. Instead, I gave her evidence. And consequences. He grabbed his boots. For the first time, they looked ordinary. After they left, the house felt larger, quieter, not empty, cleared. My phone vibrated all night. Messages from friends, shocked, apologetic, pieces of the narrative collapsing. I didn't answer immediately. I stood by the door. The space where the boots once stood looked clean, untouched. I realized something then. I never lost control. They only thought I had. She laughed that special laugh while sitting in his lap. She accused me of killing friendships. But I didn't pull any trigger. I became a wolf. And wolves don't beg to be understood. They let the truth hunt for them. I turned off the lights, locked the door, and walked away from the house like it had never belonged to me. Because power isn't staying. It's knowing when to leave, without looking back.